New tonight on KGW News, a father's fury after authorities say a man kidnapped his 11-year-old daughter from his front yard.
I am pissed at anybody who thinks that this is okay.
How neighbors and police pulled together to find her. Plus,
it's just creating a fertile ground for just craziness and dangerous conditions.
The Portland neighborhood that says crime is now out of control, and the city's next move, some say, will make it worse. Then, how local officials are pushing back on a federal plan that cuts millions from vaccine research.
Billions of people got the vaccination, and we avoided tens of millions of deaths.
And later, the Oregon researchers literally making waves in order to build stronger homes.
We need to understand how buildings fail so that we can do better designs.
Good evening, and first tonight, this was the moment Salem police found a suspected kidnapper hiding in some bushes. The response and aftermath recorded in part by home surveillance video. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. The suspect, who is now in custody, is accused of luring an 11-year-old girl from her home, sexually abusing her, and even offering her meth. Alma McCarty spoke with her father and police about how she was saved.
I just keep replaying it in my head.
Roy Ivy replaying the terror from just a day prior. The family's realization that his 11-year-old daughter wasn't in the front yard.
She was yelling and yelling and yelling and couldn't find her. I said, well, she's probably out picking blackberries. She said, Dad, I looked. She's not picking blackberries.
That was just after 4 p.m. Tuesday. By 5, nearly every available Salem police officer and the surrounding community would be searching high and low.
She has low spectrum autism, high functioning, low spectrum. So she really doesn't wander, except for this one time. She wandered.
Wandered when a stranger lured her away. Ivy said with the promise to see some rocks and crystals.
When I was her age, I could run all over. My wife could run all over with not an issue. I don't let them go by themselves anywhere for this reason.
After an hours-long search, a neighbor pointed out some suspicious activity to investigators who were out canvassing in this neighborhood. From there, officers found the missing girl in this area. Surveillance video shows the moments police pulled the suspect from the shrubs, less than a quarter mile from where he'd allegedly taken her.
He was holding her and stroking her arm, and he had kissed her cheek.
Investigators identified this man, 48-year-old Elijah Galaviz Arce, as the suspect, facing kidnapping and sex abuse charges.
These sorts of behaviors are very abnormal in a community as a whole, and typically, in my experience and my training, these sorts of behaviors don't sort of pop up overnight.
That's why Salem police are sharing this photo, because detectives believe there could be other victims.
I'm pissed at him. I am pissed at anybody who thinks that this is okay. These are children. Let them be children.
In Salem, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Well, this just in, a man accused of crashing a tow truck in Vancouver into several cars and running away has now been found dead. Here are some of the extreme damage from the crash. This was just after 5 this evening on Mill Plain near 160th. Police say the suspect ran a red light, hitting at least 4 cars. 10 people were hurt, 2 in serious condition. The driver ran off. Police later found him at an apartment complex where he lives. The SWAT team was called after reports the suspect might have a gun. When officers went into the apartment, they say they found the man dead from what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, since this story deals with suicide, a reminder, if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7. Just call or text 988. That's the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which provides confidential support and crisis resources. Again, that number is 988. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, an Army sergeant is under arrest accused of shooting 5 fellow soldiers at a base in Georgia. Officials at Fort Stewart, that's southwest of Savannah, say those injured should all recover. They add the suspect, Sergeant Cornelius Radford, used a personal handgun in the shooting and not a military weapon.
And the whole base went quiet. All you can hear was the emergency vehicles whizzing by in every direction. There had to be 30 of them, if not more.
Sergeant Radford has been interviewed by the Army Criminal Investigation Division and is currently in pretrial confinement, awaiting a charging decision by the Office of the Special Trial Counsel.
Investigators are now looking into a motive and how the firearm got onto the base. In Longview, police are searching tonight for an armed and dangerous man they say stabbed 2 people. This is 51-year-old Alexander Rogers. He may still be driving a partially black spray-painted BMW with a Washington plate that starts with BNU. He's accused of killing 64-year-old Don Peters and trying to kill 73-year-old Andrew Peters. Police say they were found stabbed in a home on Tarumi Lane yesterday. Investigators identified Rogers as the suspect today and believe he is still in the area. And Portland police have ID'd the man suspected of drawing a swastika on the door frame of a Northeast Portland business. They say community tips helped them identify 38-year-old Joseph Thompson as the suspect. He was already in jail accused of threatening someone with a knife and yelling slurs in the Lloyd district. Police also confirmed Thompson was arrested in May after causing damage to a Papa Murphy's in Woodstock, but he was released on bail. Thompson now faces a new bias crime charge related to the vandalism. All right, taking a live look over downtown Portland on a rare rainy August day, but that is about to change and we are about to heat up. Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino here with a weather impact alert as we head into the weekend and next week. Matt?
Yeah, that doesn't begin until Sunday. The good news is we get a couple of days to gradually warm up and get away from the cool, wet weather of today. Not that that was a bad thing. It was very beneficial rain. And we'll see a couple of really good days before we get into the hot stuff. So mid-80s Saturday and still just in the 70s tomorrow. But Sunday and Monday, we will be very warm in the mid-90s Sunday and even a little bit warmer than that on Monday. So those are the 2 days that we're really focused on for the weather impact alert. Hot days, very warm nights. So make sure you have access to cooling and that everybody in your world has the same. The good news is the forecast, if it changes, is trending downward a bit and shorter in duration than what it looked like it could be a couple of days ago. So again, I don't think this is going to be all that intolerable. Now, the other story, of course, is the rain that we have tonight. We had some really good showers come through this evening. There's still one down here by Canby and West Lynn. Up to our rainfall totals, in fact, doubled them compared to what we had up to 5 o'clock. So we'll talk about that rain that we had, and there's actually potentially some more rain on the way too, David. I'll have all that for you in a bit.
Oh, interesting. See you in a few, Matt. New tonight, the Portland branch for the NAACP is condemning the mayor's order to change the city's diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI policies. This move came after months of pressure from the Trump administration. The order prevents the city from giving preference to groups based on race or gender. According to the city's legal team, about 75 programs and policies need to be, in their words, adjusted. The president of the Portland NAACP telling us he believes the local order takes efforts for inclusion several steps back.
Is what this message is. And no matter the rhetoric, no matter the conversation and all of the shenanigans about how they did it and the way they did it, at the end of the day, it's about black people not counting. We're really fighting for the future of our kids and how they're going to be able to survive under these kind of circumstances.
Mayor Keith Wilson saying the decision was made to protect millions of dollars in federal grants. Meanwhile, local health officials are pushing back against Trump administration cuts to vaccine research. Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. terminating 22 contracts focused on developing mRNA vaccines. Now, experts say that research has saved millions of lives. In Multnomah County, health officials are also questioning why the federal government would make cuts to research they say is instrumental, while Secretary Kennedy claims the mRNA tech poses more risks than benefits for respiratory viruses.
I think it's always a good idea to get the latest COVID vaccination because your immune system needs the new blueprint. Essentially, the structure has stayed the same, but maybe the doors have changed, the windows have kind of changed a little bit.
Now we're developing a universal vaccine at NIH, which is a vaccine that addresses the entire phylum of viruses. And so it's a vaccine that mimics natural immunity. and it is effective against any kind of mutation, so it doesn't drive the virus to mutate.
All right, both OHSU and Providence have also used the technology in cancer research studies. The Oregon Health Authority says it is awaiting more information on what this means, though in the meantime, points out vaccines are still recommended and available. Well, developing tonight, incidents like this one have some in Northwest Portland's Pearl District feeling literally unsafe. In this case, a woman walking in front of the Fields Bar and Grill, that's at Northwest 11th and Northrop, was seemingly attacked out of nowhere. Longtime residents in that neighborhood say they have seen a significant shift when it comes to safety.
Well, it makes us feel unsafe, especially when the assaults are happening in our blocks. And, you know, they're happening to elderly people because we have a huge elderly population here in the Pearl.
I did buy some mace, some mace, because I realized you got to protect yourself. You know, there's no police to come to your rescue.
In another incident, also in late July, police say a man followed a resident into a condo parking garage, stole a camping hatchet from a vehicle, and carried it around inside said garage. Some buildings, by the way, have hired their own private security. Some neighbors we spoke with also expressed concerns that a new 200-bed homeless overnight shelter set to open in the neighborhood this September will make the problem worse.